Hey everyone, my name's Jamie. Welcome to this presentation on sports science for young athletes. The goal of this session is to equip you with the knowledge to get you the next level of your sporting career. So that may be a regional spot, state, national, international, or even professional. Whatever your goal, the information you're going to learn in this presentation will help you get there. So how? You're going to learn the latest sports science strategies that are used by the professional athletes. Here's a couple of tips to get the most out of this session. First, get involved. During this session or even after, make sure you connect with social media, ask any questions that you've got. Some of the topics you may want to learn more, or may have not covered something as much as I should have, or you have other related questions. Make sure you ask them. And focus on 3 key takeaways. We're going to go through a lot of different content, so I'd suggest watching this several times. Focus on 3 key strategies or takeaways that you can implement now and you can build up over time. So, question to get us started. What percentage of youth athletes do you think make it professionally? The answer is less than 1%, depending on which part of the world and which sport. It could be anything from 0.2 to 0.4 of youth athletes make it to professional sport. That's a really small amount of people. So if you've got 100 athletes in your club, less than one of them is going to potentially make it to that next level. So you need to learn and do everything that you can to become good enough to make it professionally. This is where sports science comes in. Sports science, very simply, is the application of scientific principles to sport. Now this includes biomechanics, skill acquisition, anatomy and physiology, motor learning, strength and conditioning, sports psychology, sports nutrition, and more. We're going to cover several of these during this presentation. Before we get into it, here are some key principles that we're going to learn about. Backward success and the 1%ers. Backward success, really simply, is the idea that to be the best, to be a professional, you need to do what the best do. So step 1 is looking at what the professionals are doing, which is what we're going to be doing during this presentation, and seeing what the research suggests. Now, usually these are hand in hand. The professional sporting clubs and athletes around the world often have sports scientists working with them, seeing what works, seeing what the latest best practice sports science principles are. So it's really good to understand these, and this is what we're going to be doing in this session today. Number 2 is planning backwards from there. So if you want to become a professional in your sport, you need to see what they're doing, and you need to start taking 1, 2, or 3 of these strategies and implementing it into your program. This is up to you, and this is the next step once you finish watching this video. Step 3 is applying that consistently. There's no point doing a couple of these things for a couple of weeks or months. It really is a long-term strategy. When you're doing these things, you need to be doing them well. You need to be doing them often and for a long, long time. So that's our first key principle. Our second is the idea of the 1%ers. Because success doesn't usually come from a few large changes, it often comes from a heap of small positive habits that are done consistently. I'll refer to these as the 1%ers. And you'll find that professionals, people that are really good at what they do, they often do many of these, the 1%ers, and it adds up over time and making them the best at what they do.